Eagles, the ultimate predators of the skies, rule with unmatched speed, razor-sharp vision, and a no-nonsense, take-no-prisoners attitude. Their talons are so strong that they can crush prey in a single swoop, and some of them can even hit speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, spotting their next meal from heights most of us can't even imagine. Not to mention they'll eat anything, just about anything that moves when they're hungry enough to make a kill. In short, eagles are the kings of the skies, doing whatever they want, wherever, and whenever. Well, no, not whenever. This whole lethal dominance of eagles only works during the broad, bright light of the day. When the sun sets and the darkness of night takes over, out comes a bird from the shadowy trunks of the trees with vision 12 times sharper than any eagle and an appetite just as ruthless. Armed with feathered, deadly strong talons, a compact, muscular body, and a beak that could slice through steel, this silent nighttime killer doesn't just steal the eagle's prey, it goes straight for the eagles themselves, taking them down with merciless precision. Meet the killer of killer birds, the great horned owl. Abby and Blaze are a pair of bald eagles living in an eagle sanctuary in southwest Florida. One early morning, a night vision camera set up near their nest captured something totally unexpected. Out of nowhere, a great horned owl, likely aiming to claim the nest for itself, dove in with deadly precision and slammed into Abby, knocking her right out of the tree. Luckily, Abby managed to survive the surprise attack. This heart-stopping moment is just a small taste of the intense, age-old rivalry between bald eagles and great horned owls, who, by the way, are actually pretty close cousins. And to make things even more interesting, there's their third secret avian cousin who's been playing a similar part in the bird-on-bird standoff. We'll get to that later in the video. First, let's give these killer owls a proper introduction. Bubo virgianus, also called the great horned owl, tiger owl, or hoot owl, holds the title of the largest owl species in Central and South America and is the second largest worldwide. Being extremely adaptable to where it lives, this owl has 15 subspecies spread across all kinds of geographical zones, making it the most widely distributed true owl across the Americas. To make it work in so many different habitats, each subspecies has its own unique tone and coloration, providing near-perfect camouflage tailored to its specific surroundings. Typically, though, their underbellies are pale with stripes running across, while their backs and wings are a mix of browns with darker, more detailed patterns. Like other owls, the great horned owl also has a unique facial disc that can range from reddish to brown or gray, again depending on the subspecies and where it's from. Their name, great horned, comes from the tufts of feathers at the top of their heads, which resemble horns and are called plumiccorns. While we don't know exactly why they have these appendages, some experts believe that they might be used to attract mates, or perhaps like how dogs use their ears to communicate. For example, when the owl is annoyed, these feathers flatten out. But when it's curious, they stand up. But that's just a theory, and it doesn't actually have any solid proof. One thing's for certain, though, while they might look like ears, they don't actually help the owl in the hearing process. Their actual ears are tucked away on the sides of their heads, hidden under their feathers, with the left ear being slightly bigger than the right. This setup means that sounds from their prey hit the right ear just a split second before the left, creating a 3D audio effect. It's how they figure out exactly where something is, even if it's buried under leaves or layers of snow. Their flat, disc-shaped faces also work like satellite dishes, funneling sound straight to their ears, which then amplifies them up to 10 times more than what humans can hear. Every night, from around 8:30 p.m. to midnight, and then again from 4:30 a.m. until sunrise, these stealthy nocturnal hunters perch on branches with their supercharged hearing locked in, ready to pick up even the slightest rustle of movement on the ground. Meanwhile, rats, also being nocturnal, creep out of their holes, hustling for food to stash away for the day around just the same time. But these little guys have no idea that there is a great horned owl lurking just behind the scene. Once the owl locks onto the noise, it switches to its other weapon, nighttime binocular vision. Great horned owls have the largest eyes of any owl and among the largest of any terrestrial vertebrate. Plus, their cylindrical shape puts more distance between the lens and the retina. This lets them see like they've got built-in telephoto lens, giving them a field of view 35 times better than human in low-light conditions. Which means that once it's locked onto a target, that prey has zero chance of escaping. While the mice are busy hoarding food, this owl swoops in and grabs its meal in a split second. The last thing you'll hear is the faint, desperate screams of the rodent before the owl flies off into the night. To make sure their prey never sees them coming, great horned owls don't just rely on their nighttime hunts, they also have something called a silent flight. This means that these stealthy predators can swoop through the air without making a sound, even though they're pretty big in size. To pull that off, the front edges of their wings have rough, saw-like teeth, which are kind of like a tiny comb. These little teeth help break up the air as they flap, so it doesn't create too much of a loud whooshing noise. It's like how a carpet or rough fabric can absorb sound better than a smooth, hard surface like tile or glass. Then, their super soft feathers help muffle the noise even further, and the fringes at the back of their wings finish the job by smoothing everything up. Besides all of that, while these owls, with their massive wingspan of 3 to 5 feet, can fly at speeds of over 40 miles per hour on a straight path, their wing structure is so meticulously tuned that they can also slow down to just 2 miles per hour, making those last-second strikes on their prey both deadly and on point. Great horned owls are also built solid, weighing between 2.7 to 3.5 pounds, and some can even reach 5.5 pounds. Plus, they're 17 to 25 inches long, with a body that's pretty much shaped like a barrel. So, when they land on small prey, it's pretty much game over. Either they crush it on impact or deliver a fatal stab with their fierce 8-inch-long talons, which are sharp, curved, and ready to strike. These talons can exert up to 2,100 kPa, or 300 psi of crushing power, far more than a human hand could ever manage. For the unlucky ones who might survive the talon strike, the owl's hard, hooked beak finishes the job by tearing them apart in seconds. Most of the time, the great horned owl swallows its prey whole, but it can't fully digest it. The stuff it can't break down, like hair, nails, and bones, gets thrown up as pellets about 6 to 10 hours later, usually in the same spot where the meal went down. These birds are absolute machines when it comes to hunting. Experts say almost any living creature, whether it walks, crawls, flies, or swims, except for the really big mammals, is legitimate prey for the great horned owl. In fact, it has the most varied diet of any raptor in the Americas, with over 500 species of prey identified, and probably a lot more still unknown due to limited research. In North America alone, their menu consists of about 87.6% of mammals, followed by birds at 6.1%, and a small portion of reptiles, amphibians, insects, invertebrates, and even fish. With their powerful build, these owls can hunt prey weighing up to 15 pounds, that is 4 to 5 times their own body weight. Interestingly enough, while their vision and hearing are the main tools for hunting that they employ, great horned owls don't have that much of a sense of smell. That's probably why they can casually hunt creatures like skunks without being bothered by their stench and enjoy the meal. But what really makes the great horned owl's intense vibe so intriguing is its savage rivalry with eagles, especially bald eagles. Bald eagles are known to attack and even kill great horned owls and their chicks during the day, leaving the owls constantly on edge, hiding out and staying alert, trying to keep their guard up. This female great horned owl is going all out, howling and screaming, trying to warn the bald eagle soaring above her nest. She clicks her beak while spreading her wings wide to protect her chicks. She manages to scare the eagle off, but it comes back, knocking her off the nest. Still, she quickly makes her way back to her chicks, keeping them safe. These kinds of standoffs go on all day, but as night falls, everything changes. The bald eagles, unable to see well in the dark, are now at the mercy of the great horned owl's sharp, binocular vision. And this big, predatory bird isn't backing down from taking its chances. These 2 American bald eagles have found themselves a cozy nest, but in the dead of night, a massive great horned owl swoops in to snatch it away, knocking one of the eagles to the ground. However, this isn't just about some birds fighting over a spot. It's actually pretty common for these 2 tough predators to go all out, hunting and killing each other when the timing's right. Even in its controlled environments like wild bird sanctuaries, they're kept apart because in the best-case scenario, they would just fight all day and night. At worst, one of them might not make it out alive after a brutal showdown. Interestingly, in this long-standing rivalry, there's also a third participant, the American crow, which, believe it or not, also happens to be the long-lost cousin of both eagles and owls. Crows are known for their genetically hardwired hatred for owls. This means that even a crow who has never seen an owl before will instinctively hate it if it crosses paths with one. Great horned owls, for instance, will kill and eat crows, and in return, crows mob them in huge groups. And if the owl doesn't call for backup or escape in time, it could end up on the wrong end of that fight. Eagles, on the other hand, also have a similar beef with crows. So, the reason behind this triangle of hatred goes way back, about 36 million years ago, when these creatures started evolving from a common ancestor. The intense competition in the skies pitted them against each other, and that rivalry still gets passed down through generations. Kind of like those jealous South Asian cousins who can't stand each other no matter how hard they try. So, speaking of humans though, we play a part in driving these killer birds up the wall. Even though they're protected by law in most places, hunters still take shots at them from time to time. And they also end up meeting their end crashing into vehicles and buildings. In some odd situations, great horned owls, which are taken in for domestication, end up escaping their sanctuaries and become a real nuisance to the residential neighborhoods, especially when they can't find their way back to the wild. Take December 2022, for example. People in Black Country, Segley, Midland were totally freaked out by what they called a psycho bird. For a solid 2 months, this great horned owl went on a rampage. It was dive-bombing residents, killing pets, and attacking kids and elders. Turned out to be a fledgling that had escaped from a training program and had somehow developed a major grudge against humans. The situation got so intense that some folks had to pack up and leave their homes while a 13-year-old boy and a 74-year-old woman were directly attacked by its brutal talons. Although their injuries were mostly just some nasty gashes on their heads, these kinds of incidents can be way more dangerous. There are stories of people losing their eyes or having their arteries sliced open from these vicious attacks. When a great horned owl reaches 1 to 3 years of age, it becomes sexually mature and it starts looking for a mate. These birds follow a monogamous mating system and they form long-lasting pair bonds. From November to April, the sexually mature females start hooting to attract their mates. The males respond with calls of their own, and they may even hunt prey to give to the female as a gesture of affection. Once she accepts, the pair finds a nest where the female lays up to 6 eggs after they mate. Both parents then take turns incubating the eggs for 30 to 35 days, which, of course, results in the chicks hatching. These chicks will stay dependent on their parents for 5 to 10 weeks before finally going out on their own. There are around 5.3 million great horned owls spread across all North and South America, and the IUCN classifies them as least concern, as their numbers are staying nice and stable. So, with plenty of eagles and crows around too, it looks like their age-old rivalry isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Anyhow, great horned owls are their best at night, and eagles dominate the day. But what do you think would happen if great horned owls could hunt during the day? Or if eagles could, say, hunt at night? Who would come out on top? Owls, eagles, crows? Or some dude with a rifle slung across his shoulder ready to go hunting with zero idea of what's going on? Let's vote on that one. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one, you little field mouse.